So, hello, and some of you probably miss the meadow, the hillside in Spirit Rock where I was this last few days, and I miss it as well. And I would love to do this broadcasting and meditation and teaching in the natural world. And I haven't figured out how I can do it with the urban life that I live here. And but this is there was a nice taste for those 3 days. So there's a whole class of mental states and mental practices in Buddhism that fit underneath is in the family of tranquility, peace, tranquility, calm, settleness, stability, all kinds of things where things get stillness, quiet, peaceful, that come along with a deep sense of reassurance and confidence and trust and sense of at-homeness. The famous story of the Buddha touching the earth. And I think today is John Muir's birthday. But touching the earth. And to feel our belonging here, that's so intimate that it isn't that we ever don't belong, we are part of the earth. And so this settledness, this calm, in this process of the factors of awakening, at some point there's joy. And a very important movement is how joy is a bridge to happiness, where happiness is more simpler, more refined, more embodied, more associated with a very deep contentment, whereas joy is more associated with a bubbling and excitement of something. And so in this process of the Satipatthana, the process of 7 factors of awakening, we're going through this phase of tranquility, of relaxing, and calming our whole system. But in particular, the texts talk about calming the body. So offer a guided meditation through the first 5 factors of awakening, and coming to tranquility and a kind of happiness, maybe. And if you don't follow, don't worry about it. Maybe use your imagination to participate as if you can feel or imagine these things. And then someday you might recognize them. So assuming a upright, alert posture, and even though later there'll be a process of relaxing can begin right at the beginning. And to take a few deep breaths. And on the exhale, let your body settle in to the spot in which you're sitting. Taking a deep breath and relaxing, releasing the whole body, as if there's a big ah as you exhale. Here, now. And then let your breathing return to normal. And part of the function of relaxing at the beginning is to awaken a certain kind of healthy awareness in your body, healthy sensitivity that works best when the body is relaxed. And so to relax and feel if there's a shift in sensitivity, sense of awareness in the parts of the body that you relax. So on the exhale, softening the muscles of the face. And as they soften, different sensations are there than if the face is tense. A different receptivity. As you exhale, softening, relaxing the shoulders. And feeling with whatever softening, relaxing, releasing of the shoulders you have. If there's now a little bit more awareness in your shoulders, more ability to sense and feel in a certain way. Perhaps on the exhale you can soften the chest. And awaken a certain kind of attentiveness, awareness, sensitivity to certain kinds of feelings that come with the relaxation. And then the same thing with the belly, relaxing, softening. And even if the relaxation brings sensations that are not so comfortable, maybe appreciate the heightened sensitivity. And then using the same process in the mind. As you exhale, relaxing the mind, the thinking energy. And if your thinking quiets and the mind settles a bit, is there some kind of shift in how the sensitivity, the awareness of the mind is present for you? And now, for a little while, connecting to your breathing. Maybe relaxing on the exhale. And with whatever heightened sensitivity that relaxation provides, receive the sensations of breathing in. Breathing in and breathing out. On the exhale, letting go of your thoughts, as if your thoughts can drift away. And with whatever degree of calm you have, let your awareness be sensitive to the contrast of any tension that your whole body-mind system might have. And almost like there's a conversation between the calm and the tension, the subtleness and the agitation. And to whatever degree you can, choose the calm way of going. Choose being quiet and peaceful, non-reactive, instead of letting your mind choose agitated thoughts or stress, tension. Follow the trail of peace, of relaxation. And if you can see the difference between being caught in thoughts and not caught, between following a path of stress and agitation versus following a path of calm and stability, peace. If you see that difference, that can be a source of joy, of delight, that you see the possibility of following a trail towards peace. The joy that you know an alternative to being stressed or preoccupied, caught up. And while it's not always easy to follow the alternative path of peace, it's an inspiration to know it exists, that you can see the difference. And if you do feel some inspiration, some joy at this difference, maybe allow yourself to have a little quarter smile with the corners of your lips move up a little bit, to share in the delight and the joy of having this practice to practice. And then see if you can now relax your body even more. As if before you're relaxing the surface parts, and now something deeper. Deeper in the face, relaxing and softening. Deeper in the shoulders. deeper in the chest. Deep in the belly. A relaxing of the whole body that is also a letting go into a kind of contentment. Simply being here, present, connected, with a sensitivity that comes from being relaxed. With each exhale, letting the body and mind become more tranquil, even if it's infinitesimal movements. With the inhale, you're present for any of the non-tranquil ways you are in the body and mind, however subtle. And on the exhale, you relax, soften, let go into whatever peace that's here. And as we come to the end of the sitting, to feel or imagine any degree of peace that's present for you. Or with imagining, remembering a feeling of peace that you've had sometime in your life, deep tranquility. And imagine that your calm and your peacefulness can be felt by others. That it is a gift that spreads from you into the world. And may it be that in known and unknown ways, your experience of peace supports others to also know peace or to feel less anxious. May it be that our peace and our contact with peace and deep tranquility is shared with the whole world. May it be that it spreads from us for the welfare and happiness of others. May we be a source of peace for this world. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. And may all beings experience freedom. And may we contribute to that possibility. So today I will cover the tranquility factor of awakening and the concentration factor of awakening. So the fifth and sixth factors. And these factors of awakening, the way that the instructions are in the Satipatthana Sutta, it does not say evoke these, make them come forth, or it says recognize when they're present. And then when they're present, support them, maintain them. And I think the reason why it says that is that the 7 factors of awakening are a byproduct of doing mindfulness practice. And as the practice begins to have some momentum, it brings forth within us a clearer and clearer capacity for awareness. So mindfulness practice is bringing forth an abiding, a living in a state of awareness, a way of being aware that's maybe very individual, how different people recognize that they are aware. Some people may be more with thought, some people more with other perceptive ways of being. Some people feel awareness is more like consciousness. It's just a broad field, a state of attention. But there's a heightened sensitivity that comes naturally. It's like whatever for you that is awareness, that if you relax deeply, you can't turn it off. in a relaxed, quiet state that's not distracted in thoughts, the awareness will be there. Just no way not to have it. And so this natural state, somewhat natural state, becomes strong, becomes pervasive. It's kind of like if someone, it's like now it's gotten light outside, so, or light in this room. I come in here and it's dark, I don't see anything. And then slowly the sun comes up, and slowly it gets more and more light until finally, maybe you don't say it this way, but the natural state of the room when the sun is up is to have the light and be able to see it. The whole room is then in awareness in a kind of effortless way. So the sun of awareness dawns and grows within us until awareness becomes stronger and there's heightened clarity of what's happening in the present moment. And that heightened clarity lets us distinguish between the trail that leads to suffering, the trail leads to stress and reactivity, and the trail that leads to peace, to wisdom, to happiness. And to be able to see that distinction, then it can bring a lot of joy, because then we know where the path is, we know the trail to take, we know what trail to avoid. And so it might not be easy to avoid the old habits, but at least we know there's a difference. Some people don't even know. And then slowly we break the old habits and we begin following a healthy way of being, the trail to happiness and to peace. And this brings a lot of joy. It's very much associated with the joy of being able to practice. Finally, I have meditation. And I know meditation is a good thing. And the way I was living my life didn't work, or there's no peace or no freedom in the preoccupations being lost in my life. Meditation seems to be a path of happiness, of following a trail towards something that's really good. I feel so much calmer and settled when I meditate, and it affects the rest of my life, rest of my day. So a certain delight and happiness can arise of knowing this possibility to practice. As we really start coursing in this practice more and more, there's a way in which that joy, that delight gets stronger and stronger. And it's almost as if it becomes not just an evaluative joy, like, oh, I'm so glad I have this practice, but there's a kind of a joy that comes from being absorbed in the practice, just kind of coursing, cruising in the practice. And it's almost like, there's an analogy I've given of petting the cat. As we stay with the practice, the cat within us begins to purr. The wonderful delight and joy comes up. And that's, some people then describe surprised by this strong feeling of joy that wells up as they meditate. Sometimes it can be somewhat intense, and some people call it rapture or something. At some point, the movement of these factors of awakening is that we're following the path of tranquility, and so things calm down. The whole body, mind system begins to calm, and so the excitement, the enthusiasm, the inspiration of joy quiets down, and the joy becomes kind of a happiness that's more embodied, that's more like a deep contentment, a sense of being cozy and connected in some soft, embodied way. And that happiness is then the foundation for the sixth factor of awakening, which is concentration or samadhi. And this is important to realize, because some people think that they're going to develop samadhi, concentration, by huffing and puffing, by straining and trying, but rather the dharmic way of developing concentration is to have in place the conditions that support the mind wanting to get settled, wanting to become unified and absorbed and focused on something. And that's a mind that is, and body that's tranquil and has a certain kind of happiness in it. And that happiness is the foundation for deep concentration. And so we're just happy to be here. There's not a question about being present here and now, because it's the better alternative than wandering off in thoughts and thinking about our daily concerns or the past and the present. Being connected here, this body, this mind, this heart, feels so rich, so satisfying that of course we want to settle in. Of course we kind of then, almost natural to settle in, to relax, to give ourselves over to this process of meditation, for example. And there's that happiness that comes with this factors, this path of the factors of awakening, then unifies, brings together all the fragmented parts of ourselves, so that the unfragmented way of being is Samadhi. And because then we're absorbed, we're all unified, connected, collected. And then we have the Samadhi factor of awakening. So what's remarkable about this, we've been doing this Satipatthana now for, I don't know, this is like almost the 60th, maybe 60th talk on it that I've given, gone through all these exercises, and I've said this before, but it's worth saying again, I believe, that we're building on the momentum of having done the practice all along. Even if you go back to the very beginning of it and just do the first exercise with the breathing, it's a powerful thing to do, and if you do it consistently, it just keeps showing up and taking your meditation posture and engaging over and over again. There's a natural process that can begin kind of opening up and moving through you, or you move through, that eventually can be recognized as being the factors of awakening. When practice is really strong, and for me it's mostly been on retreat that I feel this, the meditation retreats, sometimes that the predominant experience of the present moment, by far the predominant, is the 7 factors of awakening. And what a cool, wonderful thing to do, to not be anxious about what's happening tomorrow or what happened yesterday, or be angry with anything. Just be really peaceful and settled. And all the focus of the mind is on these beautiful qualities of mind and body, the 7 factors of awakening. And so there's this natural process that unfolds, but it requires practice, practicing well, sincerely, practicing settledly, learning how to practice mindfulness, how to bring attention, how to recognize what's happening, learning how to relax deeply, how to get concentrated to some degree, learning all this kind of the path, the world of meditation, so that more and more you can trust that there's this natural process, this emerging, this unfolding that can happen, that we allow for. If we feel like we're the agent responsible for everything that happens in meditation, we're actually shortchanging the process of meditation. A lot of meditation is letting go of thoughts enough, being settled enough, that we can trust and open up and allow for something to move through us. And these 7 factors of awakening is one way of discussing this. So I did talk about tranquility being a bridge between joy and happiness, and which it is. And then I went from tranquility to concentration, factor of awakening. So where's the happiness? So there are other lists that go from joy, tranquility, happiness, concentration. The 7 factor of awakening leaves the happiness out. Not because it doesn't happen along the process, but for some reason it doesn't need to be there, or maybe the number 7 was a special number they wanted to, so that chose the most important parts. But so it goes. So what we've done so far, there's the awareness that's often called mindfulness, the ability to differentiate between what's healthy and not healthy in our practice, skillful and not skillful. There is joy in being able to do that. There is there's the energy, the effort then to choose the healthy path. There's a joy of being able to do that. Then there's tranquility, and then there's concentration. So then tomorrow we'll do the last factor of awakening, which is equanimity. And tomorrow also we'll do a Q&A, question and response session after the this YouTube. We'll do it on Zoom, and I'll post the Zoom link here on the chat, but I'll also post it on the IMC calendar for 7:45. Well, it says YouTube community meeting, and also on IMC's What's New section. Both the calendar and the What's New are found on the home page for IMC, and you can find the link there. And there'll be a password required, and the password will be Metta, M-E-T-T-A, and that'll be clear also. So thank you, and I look forward to our time together.